Hi, so JJ asked me how I would approach drawing different body types using the Huston Bullet that I tend to talk about a lot. And that's basically what I'm going to be talking about today. Hi, my name is Luis Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist in the Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for over 20 years now, and I'm here to empower you. All right, so JJ specifically was asking me, how can you apply the bullet to characters with heavier body types? All right, so heavier body types, I mean, it really isn't too different from what we are already doing. So here, let me explain. Let me just get the right. So I have written about this on my website at thedrawingwebsite.com. I talk about this. So I talk about torsos and different body types here. And what I do is I talk about here where I just kind of draw the bean body type. And using the bean body type, I then come up with different variations of bean shapes. So, you know, like you got this bean, then you just stretch it and pull it, and then you yank it. And so now you've got all kinds of different body types. So it kind of starts off with something even more simple and graphic. And then after you create this kind of body type, then when you start applying the bean, the Huston Bullet body type here, you could apply it to the shape that you created using the bean shape. So then you just kind of add it to that body type. So let me illustrate that by actually doing it myself here. So it's really very simple. So for a heavier body type, let me sit down and show you that. So the body type we're talking about is a heavy body type. So at first you want to start with something, you kind of want to create the shape of the body type you want to construct. So you could do it simple by, you know, creating a bean. The bean is basically two balls that are connected, and the idea being that you can squish it and move it around. It's like a bean. It's like or a flour sack, you know. So you could do that and squish it around. Like if you have this bean shape of this big fat shape, you could just, all you're doing is changing the shape of the two balls so they're not exactly the same. So you can create a body type like this. You could also create a, you know, buff guy body type, which is big ball, small ball. Okay, so things like that. Okay, so then what we want to do is then we want to apply the Huston Bullet to these body shapes, and it's really very simple. So we can take this and let's use a different color here. Let's use green. And now that we have this body type, we could apply the Huston Bullet. So the Huston Bullet, again, it looks like the Huston Bullet looks like this. So it's like we've got this abdominal, this bullet shape that goes into this kind of hip area, and this is the abdominal muscle. So we've got the bullet shape, and then wherever we believe the actual belly is with the abs, we could add the bullet shape into it. And here's the pecs. And then here's the hip shape. Here's the crotch. Here's the skirt or hip shape, which is often kind of boxy. and this area here is just like the side plane, but this rhythm is still the abdominal area. So we've got the hips, and then we could add the shoulders in here later, etc. So but that is a that answers the question on the heavier body type. If we have another type of heavy body type, which is kind of a buff guy, it's the same kind of a thing. You just add the abdominals, and you just kind of shape the bullet to the heavy shape that you've created. Then here's the hips. Goes off here. Let me be more accurate here with the bullet shape. The bullet shape suddenly stops being just straight down like this, and it suddenly becomes shaped more like this. And the same goes with this, where the bullet shape is straight down like this. Once you draw a heavy shape, then it kind of changes to the heavy shape. And then you could add muscles in here to fill out, you know. Because this is the abs only, not all this extra stuff going in here. Because you know, we've got all these other muscles going in. And this is what the lats are, the ones that are sticking out like that, you know. But this is still, you know, crotch area, then hips. And that's essentially it. That's how you deal. That's how you work with the Huston Bullet to create different body types, specifically a heavy set type. But in essence, what you're basically doing is taking the regular body type and then applying it to whatever graphic shape that your intended body type is supposed to be. You just kind of spread it out to fit within the body type, but then you still have to remember there's muscles and the fat and all this other stuff. So fat being here, you wouldn't be able to see this perfectly. There would be, you wouldn't, unless you're drawing a really buff fat guy, and there are guys who have a lot of really defined muscles and still have a giant gut. You'd probably not. When you clean something up like this, you'd probably you clean up something like this, you'd probably end up not defining too much of the muscle mass here. Probably just whatever, you know, because he's all fat. You probably wouldn't define too much. You'd probably do that just because it's the belly, you know. All right, JJ, so I hope that answers your question. If anybody has questions about anything that I talk about or teach, or any kind of drawing problem that you're having, I'm very happy to answer your question, JJ. Simply asked me on YouTube, left a comment, and so I decided I'll just answer the question because it's a very simple question. If you want more on this topic, then I highly recommend you go to the drawing website at thedrawingwebsite.com and go to the cartoon formula, the cartoon body formula article, lesson, and it kind of talks about body types, breaking things down into the bean shape or in the Huston Bullet, and it breaks down the entire body, how you apply the pecs on the body and the shoulder girdle and all this other stuff. In female breasts, how that's and the hip area, and how to apply it to different styles, like the Bruce Timm style and the Freddie Moore style and the Katsushiro Otomo anime style. And I do a turnaround to show you how it all works. All right, so thanks for the question, JJ. I hope everybody that was curious about this is able to get something out of this. If you found this helpful, I highly encourage you to join my Patreon, because that not only helps me out financially so I could continue doing these kind of things, but it will also help me financially so I could step up the amount of work that I can do on this type of thing, so that I could help you improve and become better. In that Patreon, I also do private coaching. If you don't get anything out of it in 3 months, then I will happily refund your money. So I also do a lot of giveaways and original art giveaways and things like that, so that you can have artwork in your home office or cubicle. Thanks a lot, and I will see you next time. All right, bye.